Next on PIJN News, Dr. Chaps reports on these important issues.
President Trump's approval rating is going up as now 60% of Americans believe the country is on the right path. Today we examine why with Josh Bernstein.
Former Navy chaplain Gordon James Klingenschmitt took a stand to defend religious freedom by daring to pray publicly in Jesus' name. Now he helps you by reporting the news, discerning the spirits, and praying the scriptures. Would you pray with us? Here's Dr. Chaps.
God bless you in Jesus' name. My name is Chaplain Gordon James Klingenschmitt, Dr. Chaps, and you're watching PIJN News. On this show, we normally like to report the news, discern the spirits, and pray the scriptures in Jesus' name. But today we have a live interview via Skype with our returning expert analysis, a national TV host, and also national spokesman for AMAC, my dear friend Josh Bernstein. Welcome back to the program.
It's great to be back on the program with you.
So Josh, President Trump's approval rating is going up. It's now hovering over around 51%. But more importantly, a national poll confirmed now by CBS and also CNN, two different polls in fact, say that 60% of Americans believe that the country is headed in the right direction. That is a vast change from 2016 numbers when people thought President Obama's administration was taking us in the wrong direction. That's why many people did not want and did not elect Hillary Clinton to replace Barack Obama. But do you think President Trump has turned the country around, and why is he getting credit for this?
Well, obviously he has turned the country around. I still don't believe any of the left-wing media polls, but even they are forced to admit the good things that are happening, not just from the tax cuts and from the economy and from the unemployment rate being so low, and black unemployment, minority unemployment at historic lows, less people dependent on welfare and on the welfare system. And then you just couple that with the geopolitical success of the North Korea situation and how that is improving. And then you couple that with getting out of the Iran deal, the absolutely horrific Iran deal, now moving the embassy to Jerusalem and, keeping yet another promise. This president has kept every promise that he has made. The only thing he hasn't done yet, and again, a lot of this has to do more with the Republicans in control of Congress than anything else, is build the wall, although the prototypes have been started and there are certain sections that are moving. However, we really need to get that thing going a lot quicker. But yes, he's had a lot of successes. He's kept a lot of his promises. It's funny. I think it was Jim Acosta from CNN decided to send out a tweet a couple of days ago, and he was like, oh, look at all the horrible things that the president has done. He's gotten us out of the Paris Accord. He got us out of the Iran deal. He took us out of TPP. Oh my God, it's terrible. Well, meanwhile, everyone that saw that tweet responded 99.99% against what he was saying. They were like, yeah, exactly. A president that keeps his promises. Wow, what a new thing for America to be proud of. So again, Barack Obama, who? What legacy? That
Right.
legacy was on AstroTurf, number one, because it was all done through executive action, and the stuff that wasn't done through executive action, we're already undoing. So Barack Obama, who is my statement.
So another point of comparison for viewers of this show, you know that for 8 years we were asking President Obama to participate in the National Day of Prayer. He never did that, never had a White House ceremony. This year, President Trump not only had a White House ceremony inviting people to pray, but he signed a new executive order guaranteeing religious freedom and equality for people of faith. If they're going to apply for government grants, they should not be discriminated against simply because of their religious faith. Also, it looks like North Korea is suddenly breaking out in peace and denuclearizing, or at least President Trump has announced there's going to be a summit sometime in June. It's going to be held in Singapore, where he will personally meet with the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Josh, do you think that's going to be used against us? Is that just propaganda? Or is Kim Jong-un actually going to surrender his nuclear weapons?
Well, look, those are all really great questions. I don't know if he's actually going to surrender his nuclear arsenal. I think a lot of this is, is more posturing than anything else. I mean, if you saw the horrific display of butt kissing, if you will, in the international stage in the Olympics in South Korea, you can clearly see, what their intentions were. They trotted out his sister, and CNN was fawning all over how wonderful his sister was. So look, I think President Trump is smart enough to understand it's going to be a trust but verify type situation. They have said that they're going to destroy some of their nuclear capacity before the summit takes place. And this, again, is going to be not just this summit, but we also had Mike Pompeo recently go back out there again. So, I think that they see the writing on the wall. I think that they understand that they are isolated. And I also think that they're going to throw a lot of carrots, a ton of carrots in front of the North Korean regime to get them to change and modify their behavior. But look, President Trump is smart. And you know what's interesting? If you haven't read the book, The Art of the Deal, what President Trump is doing is he's literally using The Art of the Deal, his book, on the geopolitical stage. So if the left is freaking out saying, oh my God, the President of the United States is actually using his best-selling book to solve world problems, yeah, you're right. That's exactly what he's doing. Knowing when to show force, knowing when to back away, knowing when to be diplomatic, when to be forceful. All of these things are part of the business dealings and the writings of his book, The Art of the Deal. So if folks haven't read that, you can clearly read that and you can see that a lot of the things that he's doing and a lot of the successes that he's having on the geopolitical stage are due to those types of principles.
He is the negotiator in chief. Let's take a short break. When we come back, I'll ask Josh about what's going on in the Middle East, particularly us pulling out of the Iran deal.
This is PIJN News, defending your religious freedom. Dr. Chaps will be right back.
Take action today. Dr. Chaps needs you to sign an important online petition.
Today I want to invite you to sign an important petition to Congress to protect military chaplains, especially their right to pray publicly in Jesus' name. If you remember my story, you know that I was vindicated by Congress in 2006 after I took a principled stand for the right to pray in Jesus' name. I even demanded my own misdemeanor court-martial. And finally, Congress agreed with me and reversed the bad Navy policy. But Congress never did pass a positive law to let chaplains pray according to their conscience. Let's take action today for religious freedom. Would you sign that petition with me? Visit prayinjesusname.org. Again, that's prayinjesusname.org.
Please visit prayinjesusname.org and sign today's petition right now. Again, visit prayinjesusname.org to sign our petition right now.
How is your marriage doing? Ladies, would you like to learn how to get your husband to love you the way Christ loves the church? Men, would you like your wife to show proper respect? You know, there's a Bible way to have a godly marriage. I'm not saying I'm the expert, but we interview in a 4-part video teaching series a marriage and family ministry expert, Vince Dacchioli, and we go through the scriptures in 4 different parts. Part 1 is God's design for man and woman. Part 2 is godly roles for husband and wife. 3 is sex and intimacy within godly marriage, and also God's plan for divorce. You want to have this important 4-part video series available for a suggested donation of $30 if you call our toll-free prayer line at 866-OBEY-GOD. Again, that's 866-OBEY-GOD, or visit our website, prayinjesusname.org.
Defending your religious freedom. Here is Dr. Chaps.
Welcome back. I'm Dr. Chaps, joined again by Josh Bernstein, live via Skype. Josh, you are the national spokesman for AMAC. Can you mention how people can get a free membership today?
Yes, absolutely. I'm the national spokesman for the Association of Mature American Citizens. They are the conservative alternative to AARP. We are a organization for seniors, 50 years of age and older. So yours is coming up there pretty soon. And we have all the same types of products and services that an AARP would have. The only difference is when we lobby on behalf of Washington and Congress, it is to provide seniors with more power, more choice, and of course, more freedom in their healthcare choices and decisions. So please visit us on the web at amac.us or call toll-free 888-262-2006. Again, 888-262-2006. Tell them that you heard Josh Bernstein, their national spokesman, on the Gordon Klingenschmitt show. And also you can get a free membership for 1 year. So check us out. Mention my name and Dr. Chaps, and we'll give you a free membership for checking us out.
Thank you. I think I'm actually going to do that because my 50th birthday is approaching. I'm about to become a mature, not an immature, but a mature
Well, we
American
welcome you
citizen.
into the family. We'll welcome you with open arms into the family. Here's the funny thing. Their national spokesman isn't old enough to be a member yet. So,
You're
but
too
hey,
young,
you know,
but
I'm a little too young. Little too young.
But you bring in the numbers, so they like you. So,
There you
Josh, we were talking before the break about Iran, and President Trump tweeted this morning, I believe, he said that since President Obama's deal with Iran, which he promised to pull out of when he was campaigning, he said the Iranian army has increased by 40%. So they are gearing up for something. Is it war? And how are we now going to pull out of this deal when all of Europe, including our allies in Europe, are going to continue to trade with Iran?
Right, right. Well, first of all, I want to break this notion in the media that everybody is against us pulling out of this. You know, the media, CNN and MSNBC, they're running around saying that everyone is against this and we should stay in this deal. That's not true. Saudi Arabia is happy that we're out of this. Kuwait is happy that we're out of this. Bahrain is happy that we're out of this. Israel is happy that we're out of this. Jordan is happy that we're out of this. And so you notice that all the countries that are happy that we've pulled out of this are in the Middle East. So it's really just the pacifists in Europe that have a problem with it. And it's obviously clear to see, if you look at all of these countries in Europe, what a pacifist looks like and how they have been overrun and overtaken by these Islamists in their countries. They've completely been taken over. You've got these no-go zones. Paris is not the Eiffel Tower and a honeymoon resort anymore, okay? It's literally mattresses upon mattresses in rows outside of places like the Louvre and the Eiffel Tower with people sleeping on the streets. It's really sad, to be quite frank. So look, whatever Europe is going to do is what Europe is going to do. We need to protect ourselves. And I agree 100% with Benjamin Netanyahu. We'd rather deal with the Iranian problem now than later on in the future. So maybe we'll see some activity, a preemptive strike. I seriously think it warrants it, especially with the uncovering of Project Ahmad and the 183 disks of information pertaining to the secret nuclear program that they have and that they continue to work on in spite of the IAEA. So I would say that the agreement right then and there is null and void because, again, they did not live up to their end of the bargain. We have satellite imaging from their Parsons location that shows them in hazmat suits. And look, this whole 28 days for them to go in and inspect so that they have 27 days to clean everything up is just ridiculous. So look, I think that if Israel was smart, they more than likely would do a preemptive strike and end the nuclear program in Iran once and for all.
Well, it looks like Iran is continuing their nuclear weapons program, not just nuclear energy, but nuclear weapons. And when they increase the size of their army by 40%, they are gearing up for something. Not only that, they continue to send rockets directly to Syria. They've been launching them into the Golan Heights against Israel. They are aggressive, and they have promised in the past, Ahmadinejad used to say he would wipe Israel off the map of history, essentially with nuclear weapons. That was the guy that Obama appeased. And the Neville Chamberlain Europeans, perhaps the French, Prime Minister Macron came over and spoke to America. He gave an address here to our Congress. But when he was campaigning, he didn't even need to have French as the national language anymore. He thought that France should be this international community and have essentially Arabic as the number 2 language in Paris. These are the people that continue to want to trade with Iran, but President Trump has promised to hold European countries that trade with Iran accountable economically. Are we going to stop trading with countries like France?
I don't know. I wouldn't think that we would, but I think America has obviously a lot of clout, and we're showing leadership. We're leading from the front rather than behind. And hopefully President Trump can corral some of these leaders and say, hey, knock it off. Why are you doing business with this country that literally wants to destroy America? Death to America and death to Israel are practically their national anthems. We saw what they were doing. They were burning the Iran deal. They were burning the American flag, the Israeli flag. These people are terrorists, okay? And you cannot negotiate with terrorists. Because a terrorist, I mean, it's almost like the scorpion and the frog that have been friends for years, and all of a sudden, one day the scorpion stings the frog and kills it. Well, why did you do that, he says, the frog, as he's dying? Because I'm a scorpion. What do you think I'm going to do? Well, that's what's going on here. And thankfully that we have intelligence in Israel and elsewhere that was able to uncover the lies. And again, Iran lied. Let's face it. I mean, the whole thing that Netanyahu put out there was not hearsay. It was not conspiracy. It was fact. It was based on actual documentation and intelligence gathering. So why on earth would our allies in Europe not just completely ignore that and say, oh, well, they don't really mean it that they want to destroy Israel and destroy America. It's just political posturing. It's just their way of being. No, I'm sorry. We've got to take the threat seriously. And I agree, I'll say it once again, I agree with Benjamin Netanyahu that we ought to take care of the Iran situation now rather than later, because they're going to continue to develop their program. They're going to continue to defy the international atomic community, and they're still going to continue to do what they're doing. So if we know that they've never had any intention ever to stop their program, why on earth would we somehow continue to do business with them and not put a clamp on stopping them? These people are terrorists. They have terrorist allies in Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Palestinians, and all the other areas around the Middle East. They are the largest state sponsor of terrorism, and they need to be dealt with.
And if we're going to denuclearize North Korea, we certainly need to denuclearize Iran. Let's take a short break. When we come back, I'll ask Josh about moving the American embassy to Israel.
Dr. Chaps will be right back with more PIJN news.
Did you know religious freedom is under fire in our military today? Our troops do not have protection. For example, military chapels are now being desecrated by homosexual wedding ceremonies on bases in all 50 states. Our troops are now also faced punishment if they dare to object to sharing common sleeping quarters or common shower facilities, or if chaplains dare to quote the Bible during private counseling that declares that homosexuality is a sin. Nobody in our military should be forced to violate their Christian conscience, especially their right to pray publicly in Jesus' name. Let's take action today for religious freedom. Would you sign a petition with me? Visit prayinjesusname.org. Again, that's prayinjesusname.org. Let's defend religious freedom for our troops.
Take action today. Dr. Chaps needs you to sign today's petition right now. Again, visit prayinjesusname.org to sign our petition right now.
Are you frustrated at the direction your country is headed? Are you ready to fight for a cause and change the world? Do you believe God has called Christians to make a difference? Announcing a new book by Chaplain Gordon Klingenschmitt entitled How to Liberate the World in 30 Days, a step-by-step guide to take back your country. Dr. Alan Keyes wrote the foreword saying, this book needs to be placed in the hands of every millennial and Bible-believing pastor in America. This book teaches 30 powerful political tools in a 30-day devotional that will change your life and give you power. It comes with 15 inspiring true stories of political victory. You don't even need to get elected to take back your government. But if you read this book, you just might get elected too. Order your copy today. It's available in the Superstore at WND.com on Amazon, and you can get the first chapter free right now if you visit the website schoolofliberty.org. That's schoolofliberty.org. It's time to take back your country.
Stay tuned for the end of our show to learn how to partner with this ministry. Here's Dr. Chaps.
Welcome back. I'm Dr. Chaps, joined again by Josh Bernstein. Josh, I am so pleased now that the American economy is running on all cylinders. Unemployment is at a 20-year low, 3.9% unemployment. I've never heard of such a low number in my political life. I don't remember it ever going down below 4.5%, but 3.9% unemployment. And this despite the fact that President Trump wants to raise tariffs and stop unequal trade with places like China. Is he having it both ways, and why are we winning economically?
We're winning economically because finally we have a real businessman running the country like a business, which is exactly how it should have been run for years, instead of by these lawyers and politicians and professors and these academia people. We finally have someone in the real cutthroat world of business that is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. And that's where the surprise of the left in both parties, I might add, not just the Democrat Party, they're so shocked because they can't believe that this guy is actually keeping his promises and doing these types of things. The economy is getting better because a trade war is exactly what this country needs. Now, maybe in the short term, there could be a little bit of discomfort or pain, but in the end, America wins. And we should be in a trade war with any country that is treating us unfairly on the international trade scene. And this is a prime example of why we should never be in the Trans-Pacific Partnership and why we should never be in NAFTA. Of course, we're in NAFTA, but that's being renegotiated as well. Bottom line here is America needs to be first. We are the superpower of the world, not China, not Russia, not any other country. And for freedom and prosperity to remain in the world, America must lead. We must be the superpower, because never has a country with this much power, being us, done so much to not abuse that power. And thank God we are the leader of the free world. We need to continue to be, and we need to continue to be from an economic standpoint more than anything else. I actually said on another show that we need to engage in economic genocide. Now, I'm sure Right Wing Watch will be happy hearing that word. But economic genocide means we need to take the reins and we need to punish Russia and China and Iran and Venezuela and all these countries. We need to punish them and make it so bad and make it so unfathomable and so unattainable in their countries that they themselves say, I've had enough, I've got nothing to lose in this situation, I'm going to do something, revolt against our government and take out the regimes in Iran and take out the regimes in these other countries. And get rid of these despots.
Last question here. We have just about 2 minutes left, and that is, President Trump ran on a campaign promise that if elected, he would move the American embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. The first year, he said no. The second year, he said yes. And today, as of the day of this taping, by the time people see this, it'll be a couple days ago, is that President Trump has moved the American embassy. They opened today with about 50 people, 50 full-time staff in Jerusalem. They named a public square after Donald Trump. The Israeli people are so grateful for his friendship, for his leadership. Is this campaign promise part of the reason his approval rating is up and America, now 60%, say we're headed in the right direction?
Well, again, I don't typically believe the polls, so if they say that his approval rating is at 49 or 50%, even Rasmussen for that matter, I believe you add about 5 to 7% on top of that. So I think his actual approval rating is probably 58 to 62%. I think the American people are very happy with this situation. We have seen for the past 20-something years this law that was passed, and every president has deferred it. Nah, we'll get to that later. Nah, it's too dangerous. Nah, this and that. But finally, President Trump said, you know what? I promised it. I'm going to deliver on it. And I think it's a wonderful development. I think that it's something that, believe it or not, in the end, will help bring in peace. And I'd like to see some other people like the Saudi Arabians and the Jordanians and maybe even the Egyptians help in a new peace accord between Israel and Palestine. But that does not mean that Israel should give up even one more inch of land. That is for sure. So maybe things will happen. Jared Kushner, Jewish, obviously, and very conservative Jew, and he's there. Maybe he can make some headway. I don't know. You've got David Friedman, who is the ambassador to Israel, very close friend of Donald Trump, President Trump. So, we've got the right people in place. So hopefully some of these negotiations will pan out, and maybe we'll have another celebration for having more peace.
And Nancy Pelosi, I think, has counted her chickens before they've hatched, because although she wanted to pick up 20 seats, maybe 30 seats, and take back the House, a generic poll is now showing Republicans are even for the midterm elections. We're out of time, but Josh, mention your phone number and your website one more time.
Well, the site is www.patreon, patreon.com/Josh Bernstein. Help me defeat censorship out there. The show is also on Amazon Television, so you can binge watch it on a Friday or Saturday night. You can also download my free app on Android or iPhone, and if you want to learn more about me, you can look up my Wikipedia site as well.
Thank you. Our website is prayinjesusname.org. Please donate at prayinjesusname.org, or call us if you need prayer at 866-OBEY-GOD. We'll see you next time. Today I want to invite you to sign an important petition to Congress to protect military chaplains, especially their right to pray publicly in Jesus' name. If you remember my story, you know that I was vindicated by Congress in 2006 after I took a principled stand for the right to pray in Jesus' name. But Congress never did pass a positive law to let chaplains pray according to their conscience. Would you sign that petition with me? Let's take action today.
Dr. Chaps needs your financial support to stay on the air. Would you please send your best donation today? Please visit prayinjesusname.org to donate online. Or you can mail a check to Pray in Jesus Name Ministries, Post Office Box 77077, Colorado Springs, Colorado 80970. You can also call us toll-free right now at 866-OBEY-GOD. That's 866-OBEYGOD. Please sign up for our free emails at prayinjesusname.org. Again, that's prayinjesusname.org.